Hey y'all, I need my other glasses. Hold on. Hey. Oh, I forgot my book. Girl. Okay. And I forgot my shoes. Hopefully I don't hit my toes. I'm not going back to get nothing else. Hey y'all. So I didn't get a chance to color because I took a bath. But 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 you said, did you hear me thinking about you? I don't know, Sarah. Maybe I was thinking about y'all. We was thinking about each other at the same time. Cause guess what? So I got out the tub, cause got out, got dressed, and a mud flood video came up, a mud fossil video, and a lot of it that he was talking about I already knew, right? Cause I studied metamorphosis way back in the beginning of my studies. I studied that already, right, y'all? When I tell you God is always opening up another mystery, do y'all do y'all want to know what it is? Huh? It's levels to this, and you gotta learn the basics so that he can expound on that. I was like, she coloring, and then you popped up. I'm about to color. I'm a color. Okay, so look, everybody know this book. Hi, Pumpkin. Everybody know this book, The Lost Book of King Og, right? We know this book. We got this book. We read this book. We study out of this book. So I'm watching the Mud Flood series on Medusa, Perseus, Mud Fossil University, whatever it's called. I always get it wrong, but so he's going through, and I'm kind of fast forwarding because, like I said, a lot of the information I've already studied. Well, he gets to talk about Perseus. He gets to talk about Perseus. He gets to talk about Medusa. And it says when Perseus cut off Medusa's head, Pegasus sprang out. Hold on. Let me get to it. Basically, I guess when Hercules or Perseus killed Medusa, when he cut her head off, Hercules came out. I mean, not Hercules. The horse came out, and then another person came out. But the person that came out, the other person that came out, I can't remember his name, but he was the father of Gerion. I said, I know Gerion. Gerion was in the 100,000 Giant War with Og. Okay? So I'm like, wait a minute. Gerion was in a 100,000 Giant War. This other person that sprang forth out of Medusa is his father. Right? It says that Gerion was a 3-headed giant. Right? A 3-headed giant. This is what it says in the mythology. It says that he came from the land where they had red dirt and red cows. Well, I know that Ethiopia is known for their red dirt. I also know that Ethiopia is known for the Eritrea, or however you say that, is known for their red cows. Okay? Are y'all getting me? So listen, it says Gerion, a son of Chrysor and Calero, a famous king of Hespera, who is described as being with three heads and possessing magnificent oxen in the land of Erythea. Erythea is Eritrea, y'all. Eritrea, however you say it. Eritrea, or wherever, however you say that, is Erythea in Greek mythology. Now, just to make sure, y'all know me, I had to go look it up. It says, yes, Ethiopia is home to cattle with reddish brown coats, such as the Rhea cattle in the Tigray region and the Arado or Arado cattle, which can have red and black coats, right? So look, because y'all know I'm a screenshot person, I got to go see for myself. I went and looked it up. Look. This is the red soil in Eritrea. Do you see it? This is what a lot of the soil in Ethiopia looks like. So then I went and looked up the red cows in Ethiopia. Hold on. Most of the cows in Ethiopia, or a lot of them, or the red cows, are native to Ethiopia. So I know that Gerion was a king, but he was also like a herder. Like, that was where his money came from, was the red cows. Y'all, listen to this. It says, and possessing magnificent oxen in the land of Erythea, which is really Eritrea, or however you say Eritrea, however you say it. He acts as a prominent part in the story of Hercules, the oxen of Gerion in Eritrea, or Erythea. The fetching of these oxen was a subject which was capable of great poetical embellishments, owing to the distant regions into which it carried the hero. The adventure is mentioned in Hesiod, right? Now, this is the crazy thing. So when you go back, hold on, let me go back. Okay. It says Gerion was a three-bodied, four-winged giant who lived in the island of Eritrea. It wasn't the island, it was the land. It was Ethiopia, in the westernmost reach of the earth, encircling river Oceanus. He possessed a fabulous herd of cattle whose coats were stained red by the light of the sunset. Hercules was sent to fetch these as one of the 12 labors. The hero reached the island by sailing across Oceanus in a golden cup boat borrowed from the sun god Helios. There he encountered and slew the cattle herder Eurytion, or Eurytion, or however you say that, Eurytion, the two-headed guard dog Orthos, okay, and finally three-bodied Gerion himself. With this task complete, the hero herded the cattle into his boat and led them back to Greek Peloponnese or Peloponnese, right? Now, Gerion the Heavy, whose fourth and final battle was the 100,000 Giant War. Each war Gerion fought had torn his face so severely that he had 3 different faces. Hello. Gerion was oppressed by his dark ones and had been rendered mute. Gerion, who served Mott in the open. Gerion, who was stubborn, rebellious, a glutton, and a drunkard. Gerion, who continued to swing the driver and chaser mightily after his head had been severed in battle. Gerion's army was 500 giants. So the book of Og says that Gerion fought in the 100,000 giant war against Nimrod. Is Ethiopia Western Africa? I don't know. I guess I should look. I have a map. Well, that would be Eastern. I guess it depends on where they're coming from, though, huh? That's East Africa, isn't it? It shows Eastern, but what if it is West because our calendars are messed up? I mean, our maps. If our maps are turned the wrong way, because they said our maps are actually upside down, technically that would be West, right? Or no? If our maps that they show us are upside down, which they keep saying they are, then what we know is East technically is West, right? Or am I tripping? They keep telling us our maps is upside down. Now, it shows on this map that it's East. But in both of these, they talking about Gerion, and he was at the most western border. Well, Ethiopia is almost all the way at the end. See it? Now, this is, they showing this is East. Okay? But doesn't that make sense if they wanted us to think that this was some mystery land that they would say, just like I told y'all, they say that everything is up in the ice wall, and it's not. It's in Africa. All of the stuff that they was talking about, they try to tell us that it's behind the ice wall, but we know that that's not true because the giants was in Africa. They was everywhere, but they was in Africa. That's where they started. You see what I'm saying? I think it's crazy that that name is almost, and we already know from Josephus that all the Greeks did was change the names. Even Josephus told us that. So for them to say that he was a cattle herder or he had a lot of cattle, the red cattle, and where his cattle was a Erythea, which we know is Eritrea. They just changed the name of it. And for me to go look up that they are known for their red cattle and the red clay or the red dirt. This is also the red clay that some dirt that some people in what is it? Freaking, I'm sorry. How did it just leak? And we talk Ethiopia put in their hair. They put some of that dirt in, and they put them things, not all of them, but they put like the dirt in their hair and it grows their hair. They do some oil, some dirt, depending on what tribe they're from. They will put that red clay dirt, ochre or whatever it's called, in their hair. Y'all, when that man said that, I said, wait a minute. The red clay dirt. So Medusa was alive, y'all, at the same time as Og. Perseus was alive at the same time as Og. Nimrod was alive at the same time. We know that as Og, but so were these other mythical beings that we were reading about. You say, yes, I've been seeing pictures of the folks with the red clay in their locks. Listen. They build with it too. Come on. Tell me that's not crazy. For me to be watching that and him to say Gerion, I'm like, Gerion, we know that man. Wait a minute. Then he said the red cows. I'm like, I know that they have red cows because I've watched videos about Ethiopia and they have the red dirt and the red cows. This man had 3 heads, y'all, and 4 wings. And was fighting against Nimrod. This is why God called Nimrod a mighty hunter. Now, think about this. It was all of the mythological beings were living. There was dragons. This is why God called Nimrod a mighty hunter. Because he was hunting mystical beings, y'all. That's mind-blowing. We knew this, but to go and watch this man's video and know exactly where to go to find that information, it's putting the pieces together even more. So we know that the giants that are mentioned in here, like such and such, the black, we know they came from Sudan. Or they came from Egypt. A place like Chad or something like that. They literally describe these giants. It's a few giants that are mentioned in Greek mythology that are in this book saying that they fought against Nimrod. Typhus or Typhon was alive at this time. The dragon, or they could change themselves into whatever they wanted to, y'all. He also was going and breaking down every day, Tony. Every single day. Every single day. I said, God, there is so much more to this story, and we have no idea. We was just worried about the big giants. But what about 3-headed giants? It literally called him Gerion the Heavy. I wasn't thinking about 3-headed giants. I wasn't thinking about giants with several arms. I was just thinking about big. Not forgetting, and that man said, I was watching something else. He said, them people went under the, right. The layers of truth are being revealed. Is my arm trying to tell you? I was like, wait a minute. Because I've read Hesiod, I've read a lot of the mythology. Because in the beginning, when I was studying, I was just reading everything. All of the stuff to see, hey, Buddha biscuits. You hear me? I was just reading all of it. But that's how I started to realize that the mythology was all of the giant stories. And they're waking up mad and hungry. Come on. What are you going to do if you see a 3-headed, 250-foot tall being, y'all? Or a 150-foot man being with 100 arms? Huh? You're going to poop? Pretty much. Because I was thinking about the giants. I wasn't thinking about the ones that had all of the weird stuff on their body. Wasn't thinking about that part. I was just thinking about, oh my God, the bigness. But, okay, you said, I'm going to just lay down in a pile of feces. In the pile of feces, I'm going to let out. Girl, listen. Think about, okay, listen. Listen to this. Gerion the Scarred, whose fourth and final battle was the 100,000 giant war, also fought. Gerion the Mute, drunkard, whose oppression by the Dark Ones favored circumcised Nephilim on the battlefield. Gerion, who fought with the driver and chaser against Shalbiri, the circumcised Nephilim. Shalbiri, whose attack Gerion did not see, cut his head from his body so that it hung at his side. Gerion, alive and oppressed by his Dark Ones, then swung his driver and chaser as one who embraces madness, killing many and wounding more. Gerion then broke Shalibri's leg so that the uncircumcised Rephaim could kill him, for he could walk no longer. Gerion, with no head, swung the driver and chaser so mightily that in death he killed more than when he was alive. Hello. Gyges of curved limbs, whose Dark Ones circled him as a black flame. Gyges, who had conjured the Dark One that drove Mullen, the circumcised Nephilim, to madness. When the circumcised Nephilim saw Gyges, which is the god of the Hindus, his army of 2,000 on the field of battle, they slaughtered the Rephaim with relish. Gyges, who captured on the field of battle and circumcised Nephilim, stretched him in the rain and water. Gyges was stretched between two beams, fastened his legs to the one and his arms to the other. Gyges was stretched until his veins and sinews burst and then was beheaded. Yuvall the Grey, the father of Og's deceased wife, Lesta. Okay? Yuvall. We read about Yuvall in Lamech. Remember? Lamech and Yuvall, that was the giant that helped him go against the Leviathan. Remember? Remember? Yuvall is the giant that was walking around with Lamech. Lamech of Cain, from Cain's line. Hello. Remember? Because God wouldn't talk to him. Okay. Yuvall the Grey, father of Og's deceased wife, Lesta. Yuvall, who rode an elephant into battle. Yuvall, who had fallen from the heavens like lightning at the beginning of time. So then either he was a giant or he was a fallen angel. One of the two. And seeing as how it said the father of Og's deceased wife, and it called him a gray. So I'm going to say Yuvall wasn't a giant then. Yuvall probably was a fallen angel, because why would they call him Yuvall the Grey, who fell like lightning from heaven at the beginning of time? Yuvall, whose sword flamed because of the gods we didn't know. Yuvall's flaming sword was turned in every direction to guard the way. His sword turned exactly like the sword that the angel in front of the what's the name had. Remember, the sword that God gave the angel that was guarding the garden, his sword turned all the ways too, like that. All the ways, remember? So if he's a gray, that's spooky. Because that means that the grays are fallen angels, y'all. They call him Yuvall the Grey. And it says he fell from heaven at the beginning of time. So that means the grays are not, they are the fallen angels. Because it says that this gray was the father of Og's wife. That means he had babies with a human woman. And Yuvall was with Lamech of Cain. And we know that the fallen angels went into Cain's line first. Y'all. Yuvall's flaming sword, which turned every... Baby. Not the fan pass and the homies first. Listen. Look. So that means Yuvall had to have been a cherubim. One of the cherubim. Listen. After he drove the man out, he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden a cherubim and a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life. Hello. Genesis 3:24. Those guards called cherubim in the Bible were God's servants, supernatural beings commonly called angels. Not every angel in the Bible looks the same. Clearly, God loves variety. Hello. Because they're as different from each other as cats are from caterpillars and hamsters from humpback whales. Hello. It says, or in this case, the way into Eden is guarded by a cherubim and a slashing, flashing sword able to move on its own. A blade ablaze with holy fire. Now, why is that interesting? Because in the librarians, that sword was talking to that man, wasn't it? Excalibur. Every kind of angel fit Mari. Wasn't Excalibur in the librarians was able to move on its own, and it talked. Hello. Makes me think of the portrait of the gray human baby and an ape. Listen. And it looked like the frozen being in the cubit. Exactly. Exactly, because that thing looked like a gray. It sure did. And you see how big it was. And it was trying to get to the surface to wreak havoc on men. In the devil's tomb. Sure did. It was trying to get back to the surface. What did God say he was going to do with the ones that was under the rocks? He said at the end times they was going to come back to bring all the pestilence and famine. If you seen the other daughter, that's exactly what those beings that came out with Kevin Costner. The beings that was coming out of them hills looked exactly like the Greys. You said, and from one of my audiobooks, it told me that Arthur and his knights were turned from humans to vampires of a special class. Knights of the Round Table. Y'all. Okay. You said when they talk about the Og riding on his floating beast reminds me of Avatar. I'm trying to tell you. Listen. You said, and that thing makes you see and hear what was not real, a true deception. Hold on, look. So it says, Yuvall's flaming sword, which turned every direction to guard the way to King Og at the entrance of the field of battle. Yuvall, who spoke curses of pestilence while on the field of battle, and saw many circumcised Nephilim fall prey to them. While under the control of his dark ones, Yuvall fought as a god, killing many circumcised Nephilim. Now remember, the circumcised Nephilim was fighting on behalf of God. Remember, Nimrod, he circumcised because they cut his wee-wee open. And so he circumcised everybody so they would know which one was Nimrod. Remember? Remember this? Okay? So now you have a fallen angel who is the father of Lesta, which is Og's wife. And now, oh my God! Y'all, I'm going to be right back. Think about this. Wait a minute. Remember, Og is Baraquiel's son. He's one of Baraquiel. Og is one of Baraquiel's son, or one of the. I think it's Baraquiel. It's either Baraquiel or Azaziel. Og is one of his sons. He's the son. Og is the son of an angel. So it makes sense that Lester, his wife, her daddy was an angel too. Yuvall. Brothers, probably, I mean, they are. Y'all. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay. It says, Yuvall fought as a god, killing many uncircumcised Nephilim with flourish as he swung his sword with fervor. When Yuvall's dark ones left him upon the field of battle, in the mud he woke up, surrounded by the army of Nisro, the friend of Nimrod. Yuvall then drove his sword into the belly of Nisro and was cut down by Nisro's generals. The sky darkened more upon the death of Yuvall. Interesting. Yuvall is the giant whose heart broke the most when the moonchild was lost. Yuvall's army of 5,000 giants became exceedingly violent and bloodthirsty, choosing to kill the circumcised in such ways as to defile them in life and death. The circumcised Nephilim body parts were piled high above the waters in the field of battle. When Og saw that Yuvall had been killed, he raised his arms over the field of battle. So it came about when King Og held his hands up that the uncircumcised Rephaim prevailed. And when he let his hands down, the circumcised Nephilim prevailed. But that's just like in the story of Joshua, right? Was it Joshua or Moses? Moses. And Moses killed Og. Y'all, I'll be right back. Moses killed Og. So just like, oh my. If y'all was here, I would pinch y'all fat meat. If y'all was here, I would pinch the fat meat right here. This. If y'all was here, I would pinch this real, real hard. We need to go back. Moses, when he needed Aaron and Joshua to hold up his arms. But think about it. Moses killed Og. Moses killed Og. So that means that Moses was seeing these beings. Moses saw three-headed Gerion. Moses saw Gyges of Lydia. Oh my God. Gyges was the founder of the Mermnad dynasty of the Lydian kings and the first known king of the Lydian kingdom to have attempted to transform it into a powerful empire. Gyges reigned 38 years. He was living in Turkey. Oh my God. So he was a king in Turkey. Mm, 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 mm. They said he had a. Hold on. It says, but King Og's large arms and hands were heavy. So they took a temple pillar and placed it under him, and he sat on it. And Ogias and Ornius, we know Ornius is from the Testament of Solomon, right? Ornius, we know for a fact, is a demon now because he showed up all the way when Solomon was there. Okay, so Ornius was alive and walking in his body when Moses was around. But when David came, he was a spirit. Hello? Ogias and Ornius supported his hands, one on one side and one on the other. Anak, who is the father of the Anakim, the keeper of bodies before Baal, supported them both. Thus King Og's hands were steady in the rain until the dark sun set. You said Moses and Og refer to the biblical story where the Israelite leader Moses defeated Og, the king of Bashan, and his army, allowing the Israelites to claim the fertile land of the Jordan River. The rain continued to fall upon the world, for the windows of heaven were completely open. King Og saw that the water and the thunders increased, and that the water was now up to his warriors' midsections or higher. King Og asked that his arms be lowered, and saw the uncircumcised Rephaim still prevailed in the battle. The war continued, and the losses were many. The bodies of the dead floated and drifted in the waters. Y'all. Listen, what I keep seeing over and over and over and over now. Y'all heard that man in class earlier when I was playing that video. He said it won't let me paste the last part. But wow, you're amazing. This is so cool. Listen, this is the thing though. Just like in the story with Moses, when he went up against Janus and Jambres, and they literally did the exact same thing that he was doing, it makes sense that the giants would do exactly what God's people did, because there was angels working on both sides that knew. Okay? We reading from Og and a couple other places. We just kind of putting some pieces together. But think about it. Janus and Jambres was able to do everything Moses did. They threw their thing down and became a snake. Moses threw his thing down and it became a snake and ate their snakes. Okay? Do you understand? So we always seeing that every time we turn around, this is how we know that the devil and his angels have power, because but it makes sense, because that makes the fight fair. Think about it. That literally makes the fight fair, y'all. These angels got flaming swords, right? Equal, but on, because God is a fair God. So what good would it be? Oh, y'all. They fighting against brothers. So you got cherubim helping on this side, and they are the dark ones that are talked about. Because remember, it says that the dark ones were viewed as gods. But when they inhabited these giants, their eyes changed. So when the fallen angels would inhabit these warriors, we are just like how Lucifer got into the king of Tyre, and he got into Nero, and however many other people he inhabited to go against God's people. This makes perfect sense. Literally, because they are using the fallen angels' power. God is using Myconium, but there's still angels with the same power on each side. God did not take Lucifer's ability to sing and do everything, so he's not going to take the other angels' ability to fight. That would not make a fair fight. It wouldn't. So it makes sense as to why he did not strip the fallen angels of their power, only their beauty. It didn't say he stripped them of their power. He literally told us that we are dealing with wickedness in high places that has power. The powers. I have the power. Put the sword up, an electrical thing comes down, and all of a sudden he got superhuman power that he don't normally have. The cat too. The power came from heaven, didn't it? Or it came from the ether. Because it was not until the electricity hit He-Man, y'all. So they would be like the dark, evil versions of the Holy Spirit. Exactly. Exactly. That's what the possession is. The devil's form of God stepping down to us is possession. Think about it. Possession gives people power, superhuman strength. They can speak languages they don't normally speak. They know the past, present, and future. What does the Holy Ghost bring us? Once the Holy Ghost steps down into our body, we can see the past, present, and future. God will give us that ability to see. He will give us the information. We get superhuman strength as far as making it through test trials. Y'all. Every single thing that the good guys had, the bad guys have. And that's what makes it a fair fight. That's what makes it fair. Is because the same amount of power. Now, of course, God has more power over all, but in this realm, right? God is a fair God. Like, he could have just destroyed Lucifer now. We didn't even have to know nothing about them. He could have destroyed them, whatever. Why didn't he? Why didn't he? God is decent and he operates in order. That's just like when Michael was fighting with another fallen angel. What, over the body of Moses or Abraham? He was fighting with somebody over the body of somebody. It's only going to be another angel that is as strong as him that he going to have to fight with. What did he say? The king of Persia, he was fighting with somebody. Thundercats were human and animal. Come on. Tia, I just was telling Hermanita Sarah this last night. Listen, he loved all his kids, even the stubborn and hard-headed ones. Come on. He didn't strip them of their powers. He didn't take their swords. This is why the wizards knew how to enchant the sword, y'all. This is so much deeper than we could ever even understand. Y'all know that? This is deeper than we could ever understand. And this is why God says, like, I believe he wanted the very thing that he didn't want to bow to be the very thing he get defeated by this part. And you weren't gonna be able to say it wasn't a fair fight, because God let you keep all your weapons. He said we literally fighting. We're not fighting with the weapons of what? We're not fighting things of what? Flesh and blood. The weapons are not flesh. Like, it's not flesh and blood that we're fighting against. What does that mean? That means that there are entities here that are old, smart, and powerful. Why didn't he take their power? He could have. He did not take their power. Spiritual wickedness. Come on. But we don't fight against flesh and blood. Y'all. You said just like in the movies, entities older than the earth itself. Come on. Literally. Because the angels was made before the earth. Hello. They are the lower lights. It was Jesus, the sun and the moon, and the stars. The celestial bodies. The angels. Hello. Then everything else. Y'all, there is so much information that is sitting right in front of our faces, and unless God gives us the revelation of it, we just don't see it. We just don't see it. I done read this book. I've read a lot of the mythology. Some people will never understand what they can't see. Listen. This stuff has been in our face the whole time. Think about it. For real. How many times, have we seen in a movie that there is this floating black mass of something, and it goes into the person, their eyes turn black, the spirit be speaking to them, but they can run up buildings, hit the ground, cause an earthquake, all of these different things. Once this entity that doesn't have its own body inhabits them. And everybody in here that's fighting against Nimrod and them, they're dark ones, like the rulers of darkness. Give them their power. They already was big, but they're fighting against other giants. Now, we know that for a while, Nimrod, God gave him his power. Because why would somebody that created Baal worship, had sex with his mama, had children with his mama, why would God call him a mighty hunter? We know for a fact that he had Adam and Eve's clothes too that made him invincible. For the time he had them, and Cush, if I'm not mistaken, gave them to him. He stole them and gave them to him, like the little boy in Gary. You said the battle is already won, but we have to endure this fight. That part. Ain't that crazy? I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 second. I didn't start watching that dang mud flood fossil thing and then got stirred up. See it? What I tell y'all? Now it ain't been doing this. Y'all saw it? If a light go out, a light go out, baby. It ain't been doing that. I start talking, it starts doing that. I told y'all. How many lights y'all know do that? That's the same light that used to be on when I first started this. That's my living room. When I just walked outside, I started flashing. I don't exactly know. You would have to put it up here, Pumpkin. I don't know Psalm 32 by heart. I don't memorize the scripture. That's not how I do it. So you're gonna have to put it up here and we can talk about it. Y'all believe me now? That light will not come on, but it's doing that. And it only does it at certain times. Yes, I can. I ain't turned the switch off because I was waiting for it to come back on. It don't do that all day. Only when I'm talking about certain stuff. I was on the phone with my cousin and it started doing it. You tell me what that is. If a light bulb go out, it just go out. He said that's just like if you look at your phone's front camera through infrared. That didn't start happening until I came back from visiting with my granddaughter a couple of weeks ago. When I went and watched my daughter, and my daughter got, that's when that happened. Same light that used to be on. I never use that light. I never turn that light on unless I'm looking in there for something. So that light is the least used light in my house. The birds left, and that started happening. When I go in my living room, you cannot hear on the phone. It starts to get distorted. Tell me what that is. Hello? I can't get up there. It's too tall. I'm going to have them come. I'm not taking the bulb apart. I'm going to have them come switch it out, and I'm going to put one of my bulbs in there. Told y'all. I've been walking through here in the dark. That has not been happening. As soon as I walked out here, it flashed. Hello. Told y'all. It'd be a lot of weird stuff going on around here that y'all got to remember too. The last job I had, I worked with electrical. I put in light sockets, the thing in the bathroom, all of that. That was my job. I will. Cue music, spotlight, Jennifer Hudson. I'm trying to tell you, Mari. Come on. It's just blinking, and it don't blink all the time. I don't know no light bulbs that do that. If they going out, they go. I've already had, that's one of the lights they put in, or it was. I've never had a light problem with that light coming on. Those switches, I very rarely use them, so it ain't like they're getting used and there should be a short in it or nothing. Hello? Make that make sense. Them people that been in my house, I keep trying to tell you. I know they have, because I didn't come in my house and my doors was open, and I keep every door. Every door in my house is always closed. Y'all, the light is on. Door closed. Door closed. This is my office. Door closed. This is my room. Door closed. Oh my God. Y'all, that light is on. Oh my God. I've been trying to get this light to come on for days. No, that y'all gotta see this with me. I do not care. Oh my God. I say I'm gonna have them come replace it. Now look. Mm, mm, mm. Mm-mm. I'll be right back. That is crazy. Oh my God. Y'all. I'm happy y'all was here to see it. What is this? Now there was a white, y'all. There was a white. Did y'all just see that white box? What the heck was that? Y'all. I've been trying to get that light to come on for like 4 days. Maybe longer than that. I say I'm going to call them and have them replace the light. Y'all just seen it blinking. I've been flipping that switch, trying to get the light to come on. It either wouldn't come on. Listen. Y'all seen it. Y'all saw it blinking. Now it's on and the light switch is working perfectly. I was in there looking for something and the light wouldn't come on, so I had to turn the light on in the kitchen. I don't know. Listen, I don't want y'all to be worried. I just be wanting y'all to see the stuff that be going on in my house. Don't be worried. But now, as soon as I say I'm going to call them and have them replace it, now it's working. It ain't worked. Since I came back from my daughter's house, it has not worked. Listen. That's crazy. And I deal with a lot of weird stuff, baby, but that's crazy. And y'all literally saw me flicking the light switch. Y'all seen it blinking on and off, on and off, on and off. It didn't start doing that stuff. We start talking about these. You said, no, it still needs to be. Yeah, I know something ain't right. But every single time that I've gone out of town and I've come back, it be something weird in my house. Did y'all just hear that? if y'all haven't paid attention, every time we hear that, that's when this starts tripping. I'm trying to tell y'all what I know. Mari. Listen. The birds left. The lights start acting crazy. The bird's nest is still there. I never see the birds. Do you hear me? Now, what I tell y'all about my camera on my door? I said I haven't charged my camera since I got back from Auntie P's house because I feel like they was watching me through my camera. And every time I would leave to go out of town, within 24 hours, a maintenance call is at my house. They spraying. But when I'm home for the whole time, nobody comes here to spray. I've been home over a year. I've been home over a year. Let me turn that camera on and go out of town. I guarantee you within 24 hours, somebody is going to be in my house. I done told y'all. I showed y'all the camera. I showed y'all. The day that I got to Auntie P's house, February 9th, 8th, by the time I got to Georgia, the next morning, they was in my house, bright and early. When I went to visit my daughter, the next day, they was in my house. Okay? So I stopped charging my camera. My camera is not charged. It's not on. I get rid of my camera or stop using my camera. The neighbor that just moved out across the street got a camera. Within 2 weeks of me stop using my camera, my neighbor that was living across the way got a camera. Hello. She hadn't had a camera the whole time I lived here. Mind you, she knows that my camera watch her door. It literally shoots straight to her door. So what does she need a camera for? Not saying that she didn't need one, but my camera picked up everything at her house. Soon as I quit using mine, she got one. This nephew. I already checked all my pictures because at first it was in my hallway. When I would go in my hallway on my phone or on my iPad, static, you can't hear nothing. Now it's the living room. Yep. Yep. When I tell y'all the people is over here, they over here. I know they over here. I done told y'all about the man that was standing outside acting like he was fixing something at 7 o'clock at night, and maintenance don't even be here at 7 o'clock at night. Something told me to look out my window. He was standing right under my window, y'all. And I was on the phone. The police, when they ride through here, they park right on the side of my apartment. They didn't used to do that. Or they'll park right in front of my apartment, but on the other side, they didn't used to do that either. I'm not crazy. I already know what's going on. And that's why I don't do a lot of moving around. That's why I close all of my doors when I come and leave and go. I don't leave no windows open, none of that stuff. You say they are so following you on everything that you do, and you be careful in your own house. Oh, I do. I do. I do. But even for whoever came in here and said that the bully slayer said he can't talk about what he talk about no more, I know this to be true. I'm telling y'all, pay attention that every time that they block me, we don't even be doing nothing. And they block me for a week. It's always when something big is about to happen. Normally, something that have to do with whatever one of our classes is. They didn't been doing it for 3.5 years. Not only are they suppressing me, okay, on TikTok, they're suppressing me on YouTube and on Facebook. I mean, fan base. Hello. They was talking about blocking our account, and we didn't even get to stay on fan base 3 months. Blacking out our screens. Whenever we talk about certain issues, all of a sudden the live is messing up, and they start kicking us out. Remember, we had got blocked from YouTube a couple times. You don't remember? And you gonna have to go out and come back in, Pumpkin. Y'all don't remember that when we first got over here? That's how we got to Instagram. There go that. What is this? Where is my phone? Y'all, that white box keep coming up. What is this freaking white box? I'm gonna leave my camera up. The white box then popped up again, and it's just up at the top of the corner like this. Never seen that before. They big mad that you made a joke about the foreheads having to be swiped. Listen, literally, the next time that box has never come up there. Did you see the mudslide that wiped out a village in Sudan? No, Auntie. Today, Auntie, whatever happened to the maintenance guy who had the info about what our class was talking about? It was a minute ago. People be weird, nephew. They be weird, and they be trying to get in other areas they're not supposed to be in, and so then they can't come back around here. They like to go to cookie factories and stuff, and the cookie factory is closed. Hello. It started when you was talking about the Moses and could see the angel he killed. Right. Hey. Hey. Rika. I ain't went and picked up no packages. I ain't been nowhere. I've been in my house. Yeah, I've been in my house. I have not felt led to go anywhere. I still got to go get. Okay, Rika. Okay. Yes. Okay, girl. We over here tripping because it's a lot going on around here. You hear me? I don't care if people think I'm crazy either. I do not. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't care, because it be right. You be right. It be right. And listen, you know when somebody done been in your house. You know when stuff is odd. You know when stuff is off. And one of the reasons why I have not tried to get to know anybody here is because mm-mm. They set folks up to meet people all the time. That's why I don't have a pattern of when I go do nothing. That's why I don't tell nobody when I'm going to go do nothing. That's why I just do it. I don't even, like, if my kids call me, they be like, where you going? I got to run around the corner real quick. I don't say I'm going to my box. I don't say I got to do this. I don't say nothing. I might be going 30 minutes away, but I'm going to say I'm going around the corner. It is around the corner to me. Not too far away. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is what I'm talking about the whole saying every move you make, where you going. That's going to be so dangerous in the next coming whatever. You hear me? I want to figure out what that white box is too. That's tripping me out, because out of all the time I've never seen them put a white box up there, and it just keeps popping up in this left-hand corner, but the next time it do, I'm going to take a picture. That's how I know they was messing with my car. Trust me, from here on out, everything is around the corner for me. I'm trying to tell you. Everything. Where you going? Around the corner? You going around the corner? The interception of messages in which they have both names, dates, and even pictures that were sent in a full log. This part of the street. I'm trying to tell you. Because think about it. They have to be screen recording. They have to. Because remember, I told y'all, depending on what we talking about, it'll bring up something and it'll say screen record. Something is uploaded, but it'd be like only when we talk about certain stuff, and that's when y'all start saying y'all can't see the screen. It's like they either screen recording it, taking a picture, or just trying to get that specific thing, because that didn't used to happen. Now it'll say, like, depending on what we talking about, it'll say your video is uploaded. I ain't uploading nothing. You said the box is there because the light is on. Interesting. I'm just happy y'all got to see it, because I know people be thinking I be lying. But y'all seen the light blinking. I took y'all in there. It was dark. And when I just went out here to go to the bathroom, the light was on. I've been trying to get that light on for days. And it's been doing that same blinking thing. And then as soon as I say I'm going to call maintenance and have them repair it, the light comes on. I told y'all it looked like a camera to me taking pictures. Kind of like what they did in Evil when they were trying to decipher what the people had learned about with the prophet. Listen. And now y'all see why I was nervous about doing a whole bunch of meet and greets and stuff, because you never know who's coming to that stuff. I'm almost sure there are people that are here that are not our people, and I've been telling y'all that the whole time. Because technically, and I'm not putting myself on no pedestal or nothing, but people got up and they moved. The government pays attention to that. They don't care if you online and you ain't getting nobody to do nothing. Crank Mom, I think you need to get on your own social media and ask people for money. That's rude. Didn't your mama teach you better? Should I come in your live and ask for money and say that I'm going to get... Don't do that no more. We don't do that over here. You need to get on your live and go live and have something to talk about, and people will send you some money for whatever it is that you need. Don't do it in my class. Ever. Thank you. We don't even know if you really got kids or not. You'll not do that over here. It's rude. I'm sure your mom taught you better. Positive she did, and if she didn't, let me teach you today. Hello. What makes you think that strangers are going to give you anything? You shouldn't. Anyway, I'm really about to go color now. Oh my goodness. I'm about to go color. Yeah, it's a lot going on. I'm about to go color now. I don't know if I'm coming on tomorrow or not. We gonna see. Nigga, we gonna see. This is why I keep grandma with me. And I'm a little sad because don't be sad at me, to the people that sent me tasers. I gave them to my daughters because there's a serial killer in Indiana. Okay, I got $2. Y'all sent me two, and they don't have weapons. So when they came down, I gave them the tasers that I have. And so that's why I keep grandma with me at all times, because if they went after the bully slayer and all that he does, and I'm not saying all, like it's not nothing because he does a lot, but think about this. They went after him for just showing buildings. Right? They went after him and put him in jail for just showing people buildings. That's all he was doing, was showing buildings. Going and showing people buildings. And they told him he better not talk about it no more. Okay? They disappeared him for a whole year. Or was it 2? He was gone from May of 23, I think. It was longer than that. Wasn't he gone from like May of 23? It was May of 23, his last post when we had seen him. You said it reminds me of the movie Enemy of the State with Will Smith. Somebody else Mari just said that. I don't know. I'm about to go, y'all. I love y'all. But remember when I told y'all certain people are on a certain list, and they used to have a certain list on the internet, and now you can't find that list? You been jamming to music? I'm about to go color, girl. And remember, I told y'all the people on the top of that list was evangelical Christians. Do y'all remember that? And then they took the list down. If I was on here twerking, they would not care. You hear me? If I was on here twerking and they would not care. But the fact that, one, we don't be all over the place. Okay? 2, these kids are disrespectful and ridiculous. My sister went to college, and my mama told her she needs to be in her dorm room because someone was following her. Now she grown, she ain't got to do it. What you mean? Yeah. Listen, this is the thing, family. I already know that at some point in time, some folks might show up. You hear me? I know. And it ain't that I be waiting on it, because I'm still going to say what I'm supposed to say. I just be paying attention. You said class was getting good too. It was. We'll continue this tomorrow. We will. Lord's willing, if he, whatever. We'll continue this tomorrow because I'm not sleepy, but my nerves bad. I'm about to go get me some meds probably and sit and color. You said if I was talking about Love Island, they'll leave me alone, this part. But when you can motivate people to move, you got to think about every single thing that we talk about over here. And again, we knew about Project 2025. That's funny that dang squaring came back up. Let's see if it come up now. We knew about 2025 before they even told anybody about 2025. They've been paying attention. Heavily. Okay? So, understand. They've been over here. And that's why I've been trying to play it cool, so that we could just stay afloat as long as we needed to, so that we could reach the people we needed to reach, so that we could get the information out. And I think God used us to do a great deal of that. She said she grown and she ain't got to go to her dorm room at 9 p.m. She was the one that was telling us someone was following her. Interesting. Yep. So, I love y'all. We'll probably do this in the morning. Not in the morning, in the afternoon, because I need to take a chill pill. I need to take me a chill pill. I do. I might even have me a little sip of Jesus juice on this evening. We gonna see. I don't really like doing it anymore, though, because it be making me feel not nice. I ain't had none in a while, since the last time y'all see me had that little bit in my little pink cup. But it might just be an evening. We gonna see. So, I love y'all. Pray for y'all, Dean. I will be praying for y'all. And we shall see each other on tomorrow, if the Lord allows it. I love y'all. See y'all later.